Thank you for coming, everyone. My name is Miyoko. So I'd like to start from my self-intro. So this is pre-global session, especially, and luckily this session all female, speakers. Then I'm from North America. Actually, I'm from Silicon Valley, and Hiromi-san, she's from Nordic. Actually, Sweden, and she's from India. So we can just talk about the global new business development in 3 different regions. So a little bit about myself. I've been, as I mentioned, I'm from Silicon Valley. So I've been there last 25 years by now. So I've seen a lot of up and downs especially in the IT industry there. So so today I just talk about So a lot of histories in the Silicon Valley and also what's happening there as well. So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Hiromi Blomberg. As Oki-san introduced me, I'm currently living in Sweden, also 25 years, and worked in the tech sector and connecting the Japan and Sweden through innovation. Nice to meet you today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sairee. I'm from India. I've been a founder pretty much all my life, and now doing business with Japan. So very happy to be here. Founder/investor/board member. Been in the India ecosystem for about 25 years, built a couple of companies, some really good, some all right, some not so good. And of course, I'm building a financial services company, a fintech, you can call it, and we serve women as a segment, and that's something of interest, I think, between India and Japan for me. So thank you for inviting me here.
Okay, so we are told to prepare the 5 minutes presentation each. So we're gonna explain what's going on each one of the regions. So maybe I'm gonna start, right? So I just prepared the 7 slides describing about what's going on in Silicon Valley. So at the first slide, I just mentioned what's happening in the nationwide. So you see that you've never, there's so many, news you hear about the new Trump administration. So a lot of, things happening in the country. So, in a nutshell, I say that, that countries become more, it used to be more, liberal, but now it's swing back to more conservative, in a nutshell. Then I don't talk about much about this because it's a nationwide thing. Doesn't click. Oh, okay. So then from this page, I'd like to discuss more about what's happening in Silicon Valley. So you see that employment in Silicon Valley, overall, it's slightly, decreased, 0.1% decrease. But if you take a look at the startup employment, it's increased like 9.3% in total. Then which segment is more the high growth is software and the biotech. I assume that in the software, I think it's the AI things. It's pretty much dominated in the software. So next slide. The VC investment as well. So VC investment is pretty robust as well. So in 2024, I don't see, 2024, total number of investment at 69 billions. So which is about 10 兆円です。10兆円が that was invested to the in the Silicon Valley. Next slide. So AI, all in. So lots of things happening in the AI. So this is a chart. If you just, so there's a two different the chart. The left-hand side is the investment in Silicon Valley. And the right-hand side is the investment in San Francisco. So you can see that all those the pink deals, all the AI startups. So as you can see that all the AI startups is pretty much dominated, especially in San Francisco. Then yeah, AI thing. So in the right hand the chart, you can see, especially 2024, 60 billion was invested to the AI. So then next slide. This, if you access to the link on the bottom of this text the site, Cerebral Valley AI, you can see a lot of events regarding all the AI things. So you can just take a look at all those AI events. It's happening almost every day. So many events happening. So it started in Silicon Valley, but now it's expanding to the other regions as well. So then another thing that I want to just talk about is deep tech. Deep tech, about 30 years ago, 40 years ago, internet changed everything about the information management. Now, deep tech, now it's changing the manufacturing industry. So this is a chart, the new framework about the deep tech. So again, so AI is a driver of this deep tech thing. So you can, we can discuss about this later. So that's my presentation.
Thank you. So I'm tasked to talk about Scandinavia. It's quite a big area, but I think I would like to concentrate on Sweden, where I have more knowledge about it. How can you go to the next slide? Or how should I do? In a nutshell, trend in Sweden is also follows the trend in US, I think. So I'm not going to repeat that the summary which Oki-san just made. I just want to talk about the how Sweden is competitive in the world as being such a small country. And I'm actually coming from a tiny, tiny city called Malmö in the very south part of Sweden that you see. But we think we are competitive in the global world. So, Sweden and innovation. I'm happy to be in Ramentech this week because of the Nobel Prize. This is the time of the year you hear Sweden from Japanese newspaper and the news most. So Sweden is not just giving the prizes, but actually it is ranked #1 in EU innovation ranking and also #2 Global Innovation Index. And comparing to US again, actually we have a highest unicorn rate per capita. Sweden is only, thank you, Robin. He's from Sweden and running a great startup also. So those numbers I want you to remember. So there are several reasons Sweden is so successful as an innovative country. The first one is education, of course. The very higher education is free to all the people living in Sweden. And also at the Swedish university, you don't only find young people. People at all ages can go back to university or other education to take. How can I say? You can develop your career path. The second one is collaborative ecosystem. I guess I have time to talk about, elaborate a little bit later. But this Sweden is very, how can I say, clear that all the academia, industry, and also the academia, industry, and municipalities, government, those are together trying to create the next step innovation. This is very typical Swedish and also maybe Scandinavia, I guess. And born global. As a small country, we don't have a market like in Japan, market as in India. We need to go global from the beginning. And the US is always the target country. Sustainability focus. Resources are limited in terms of the people and the materials. So the country has been working to develop a sustainable future. And this, I think, leads to the current position too. And yeah, this maybe we can talk about later also. Sweden and Scandinavia is regarded as one of the most equal, gender equal country, and diversity in the people in terms of the immigrants or different people are living in Sweden. Okay, the last one, I guess. Yeah, hierarchy. Sweden abolished to speaking, when they're speaking to each other, how do you call that? Keigo in Japanese. You just use a different type of, how can I say, address the other person. So it's gone in the beginning of late 60s and 70s. So it's very nice to, you can express your own opinion to professors, to CEO, it doesn't matter. Your opinion is equally, how can I say, respected. And I would like to add two more fun factors. The first one is work-life balance. It's pretty much connected to innovative ideas. Innovative ideas doesn't come from when you are working at office, coming from when you are taking dogs in woods. And the last one, but least, Scandinavian. Now it's the time of the year also. We are a little bit depressed. It's dark and cold, but this is also, it's like sounds like a joke, but it's an official a statement from the country, Swedish Institute, that this also bloomed the creativity. So this is where I'm working.
All right. Thank you. That was a wonderful presentation. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sairee. I'm going to run a small video clip for you, which has Japanese subtitles for the ones. So if I could play
Women
that.
in India are owning their hustle like never before. Business loan accounts up 4x in just 6 years. But here's the gap. In 2024, women got only 7% of all business loans. Banks would say, you need a loan, get your husband or father to sign. But India is changing. Women are not asking, they're building. With a smartphone in hand and capital on their side. Namrata left her 9-to-5 job to build Strokes, now shining in 100+ stores worldwide. Mahila Money backed her bold leap. She's one of the women steering 20% of India's 63 million MSMEs, employing over 25 million people. Mill turned a $1,762 Mahila Money loan into her own beauty clinic. 25% Indian women use UPI, and Mithil is proudly one of them, fueling India's growth. With 400+ million women internet users in India, they're building smarter, faster, and bolder, fueled by paperless, collateral-free capital. These businesses are not just starting up, they're scaling up. Smart capital, macro impact.
Thank you. I also have a presentation that I will quickly run you through so that you have a little more context.
So Sairee-san, you just started this VC in India, right?
Sorry?
So this is your own VC.
This is my own organization. So the company I run is a financial services company. You can call it a fintech. And we give loans to women entrepreneurs. Actually, the reason I got into this is because I've been an entrepreneur all my life. And when you're building a company, you need a lot of capital. You need equity capital, but you also need working capital. And as I was building my own journey, I started very early. India was a very different country back then. And I started this company because some interesting changes have happened in India. And I think India, like China, is a land of numbers. You know, everything adds up very quickly, everything scales. One very interesting thread that's common to India and Japan is the relationship between the financial services sector. So a lot of Japanese banks work with Indian banks. Now the same Japanese banks are beginning to work with Indian fintechs. So I'm here actually because my investors are Japanese and my board members are Japanese, but our company serves Indian consumers. So we are building a collaborative company. And of course, for example, there are about 150 million women in India who are now connected to a smartphone, use digital payments, and are building a small business. That's the segment we serve in India. A little bit about myself. I've been a serial entrepreneur and now building all over again. I also am an investor, mostly on weekends. Just a little bit of India growth story. India is doubling its GDP every 3 years. So I think we are entering the place where you call it the leapfrog phase in a country's economy. And in fact, my number is old. We've already, we're already pushing these numbers. We've crossed 5 trillion already in India. Some things that are pushing growth and are very interesting and are opportunities both for investors as well as entrepreneurs. One is the digitization super cycle. Like, you can go all across India without carrying a single piece of cash. You can go you can go into the smallest part of the country. You'll be connected online. Your data is cheap and your identity is online. So the government built something called a digital stack and made an online identity for all Indians. 1.2 billion digital IDs, which includes your social number, includes your tax data, and that's allowing us to build the company that I'm building. When I started my first company, India had 10 million internet users. Today we have almost 800 million internet users. Almost 400 million women use the internet, and that's part of the scale up that we are witnessing as we speak. Fintech/financial services continues to be a high growth sector. So the simple maths is India is growing and is credit starved. Japan is looking for yield everywhere and growth everywhere. And India is one of the few countries that's keeping up its growth rates at this point in time. We're also the second largest fintech ecosystems in the world. And some of our companies are highly scaled up. Some of you might have seen PayPay in Japan, obviously, to pay. Fun fact, PayPay technology is actually an Indian technology. It came from Paytm, an Indian fintech that is now a public listed company and originally funded by SoftBank, so life came full circle. I was part of the team that brought Paytm to Japan for PayPay. And of course, it's one of the most profitable sectors. And I think, again, talking of numbers, that's the opportunity entrepreneurs like me are chasing. We're also grateful to the Japanese partners who are believing in India. I'm sure you're following the news cycle. MUFG is buying a large financial services company in India. SMBC went and bought an Indian bank, which is unprecedented. So we are seeing increasingly interest from Japanese investors and collaborators like banks. And that's exactly what brings me to Fukuoka.
So yeah, that's great. So you said that you are in the financial, you have expertise in the financial area. Then, how do you just develop your entrepreneur spirit, or how do you just collaborate with other entrepreneurs? or because I've seen that so many Indian entrepreneurs in the U.S.
Yes.
Then there's also I know that there's another organization called the TIE.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a very huge NPO who support who provide any support to the entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you sometimes use those the support, or how do you?
No, so actually, I think Indians are by nature entrepreneurial. I think different countries have different strengths. Our strength is not coloring within the lines. We will color outside the lines. And I became an entrepreneur when I was 21. And I think, at that time, the startup ecosystem in India was very small. It has grown since then. We're now a country that has almost 150 unicorns, and some of them are publicly listed, so that they have really proven their existence, and the market has proven its maturity. Entrepreneurs like me are now creating ecosystems for other entrepreneurs. So when we are building Mahila Money, we are offering loans to women building a small business, as we saw in the video. So in some ways, it's a virtuous cycle, and we saw that in the Silicon Valley. Once you have a cycle of entrepreneurship, it compounds from there. So we are seeing a lot of compounding, and of course, you will find Indians in every part of the world. We are the wandering lot, and we like to build things, and I think a little bit of our national history and culture allows us to be entrepreneurs far more easily.
So I also have the same question to Hiromi-san. So you've been in the Sweden for last 25 years. So you've seen the startup scenes there for a while. So do you see any specific characteristic difference in entrepreneurs there compared to other regions?
Definitely. There are several reasons that Sweden is also a lot of innovators and entrepreneurs who dare to start startups. One of the reasons that we also have a bunch of game developers, and the same reason for those two often talk about the social security network. The people are covered, even they are employed, so they can just fail. It's you don't need to so afraid of failing. The other thing is like academia and also the industry are prepared to how can I say produce the more startups entrepreneurs. For example, researchers, they can own their own IPs. So it's not belonging to the universities. I think it's common in Japan and maybe US also. Professors or researchers, they can keep their own IP and they can use this for their own startups or businesses. And also, if you are working at a company, and the employee says, like, I want to start my own startups. The company need to allow them. Company are obliged to give them, I think almost all of them, you need to negotiate. But it's easy to take 1 year off to start and just give your business idea to chance. So I think those are quite different from other countries.
So when I think of the Nordic countries, I still remember that the startup event Slash, they're still pretty much active there?
It is very active, and active among Japanese, I think, Japanese stakeholders. They love Slash. I was there. Were you there? No? Okay, it's very dark. You go, here it's very bright. If you go to Slash, it's very dark. It's very Finnish. Finland is more darker than Sweden. Anyway. So I think the startup scene at the Slash is very, how can I say, active still. And the Finland and especially Helsinki is built a very good relationship with several Japanese cities. One of them in Fukuoka, but I can mention about Tokyo or Kyoto or other cities. So it's, I was surprised. I was there after 15 years. I met so many Japanese people at the Slash, actually.
All right. So let's talk about the AI. So I just cover on my presentation. I just covered a lot of AI things happening in Silicon Valley. So, Sairee-san, your expertise in fintech. So your area. So you see a lot of things have changed because of the AI.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you a really great question, Miyoko-san. The company that we think is our competitor is a 20-year-old company, actually 30-year-old company. They do about $1 billion of loans every year. They only lend to women as well, like us, but they do it offline. And they employ about 10,000 people. We think we can do the same number with about 100 people. So I think AI is bringing efficiency in businesses like never before. Of course, I think Silicon Valley is full of Indians building tech and AI. India is also full of Indians now embracing AI in many, many diverse ways. So fintech is one, obviously, very native use case. I'm close to it. But we are seeing now AI usage in a lot of areas, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's healthcare. We are seeing innovations all across. And of course, I think AI has also become a sovereign issue. Now, I think governments have woken up to say it's not something that we will just let entrepreneurs take charge. We also want to be involved. But we are now seeing, from our own perspective, AI is fastening development cycles. It's reducing cost like never before. And companies like us are beneficiaries of AI. We use a lot of AI in our credit modeling, in data collection, in fraud checks, in deep fakes. Because we are in the loan business, we need to make sure identity is a very big part of our work. And we're building all of that on back of AI.
How about in Sweden?
AI is definitely used in everything, I think. So another trend I can mention in Sweden, I think it's a little bit sad that the trend is facing in that direction. A lot of defense tech now. And with obvious reasons, we have wars close by. And so the defense tech and the space tech also, detection of the things. And almost all the deep tech trends, if you are entrepreneur, you need to think about the dual use. How you can use it for civil, how you can use for the defense. I think that is quite obvious these days.
Miyoko-san, I have a question for you.
Sure, yeah.
You've been in the Bay Area now a long time, and of course, you're helping a lot of Japanese companies expand to the US and vice versa. What are the things that you are seeing in this corridor, Japan-US corridor? What are the biggest areas of interest right now between Japan and US?
So in my slide, I just mentioned that the deep tech is happening, right? So if that's the case, the one of the strengths that Japanese companies have is the more like juko chodai, like more like the hardware things. So if that's the case, if the deep tech development deployment is proceeding, I think the Japan can just contribute to the development of those deep tech things from because Japanese companies still have a lot of strengths in area of the maybe advanced materials or like precise precision engineering thing. So so maybe Japanese companies have strengths to just in those areas. Any questions from the audience this moment? Maybe not. So if that's the case, maybe I will ask a question to Harumi-san. So you also just do the new biz stuff new business development between cross-border business
Yes.
between Sweden and Japan. So, what's the most the potential the area that you think that can be implement working with the Swedish companies, with Japanese companies?
There are many different, how can I say, categories of the technologies. I think there are several, how can I say, area we can mention. Deep tech is one, and also life science is huge between Japan and Sweden. And then there are some sort of educational that both countries are quite keen to how to educate the kids. Educational software or systems and tools. That's I've been under, and of course the car industry. Yeah, but I think so you can find the good combination almost all the areas of the industries. But I see when I try to connect those Japanese and Swedish engineers. I'm not an engineer myself, but I see the how can I say, both sides are very they are very happy to talk about technologies, like respect for each party's interest and the care, such a detail of the technology that they can talk to each other. Like they don't need a word; they can just communicate through those respect to the technologies. So that is my joy in my work. Right?
Sorry?
Maybe you feel the same between you just connect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, of course, a lot of my context is India and Japan, and I'm spending a lot of time here. Like I spent almost 90 days in Japan this year already, so I've been more in Japan than India. And a couple of things stand out. I think Japan is a developed nation that's aging. India is a young nation that's growing. And I think that's at a very macro level, that is a really good fit. I think, so for example, as a child, we have grown up with Japanese brands all around us, so Panasonic, Honda, Suzuki. These are, to us, they're not Japanese brands, they're almost Indian brands. And I am now seeing, so historically, everything happened through the government corridors. Now I'm seeing a lot of private corridors open up, private capital, entrepreneurs. In fact, now, if you go to Bangalore, chances are you will find Japanese entrepreneurs building in the city. I have one of my investors here, Yasu-san. Yasu-san, will you raise your hand? He's practically in India. He lives in India mostly. He's building a venture fund between India and Japan. He's invested in, I think, 30 Indian startups. And he's bringing some of them back to Japan to serve Japanese market. I think we are seeing areas of collaboration which are very mutual. In capital, in startups, in deep tech. Fun fact, the Delhi metro is actually Japanese technology. So a lot of metros and trains that are new and being built in India are Japanese technology. So there is a historical infrastructure partnership. The fun thing is that now we are seeing that partnership go from government to people, So if you're an entrepreneur or if you're looking for a large market, let's say you manufacture a product in Japan or you are building, let's say, an app. India is a large market to go to. It's a large consumer market. And likewise, India also is looking for a lot of investments in deep tech, in sensor technologies, in a lot of innovation that already exists in Japan, perhaps.
So Apple tried to use to develop the iPhone in India.
Yes, Apple is actually now building the iPhone in India. So India is at a very growth spurt mode right now. A lot of things are happening in India for the world. We're also, because we are so entrepreneurial, not only we are historically the back office of the world, right? The India IT services is what we are known for. But you are now seeing Indian SaaS companies, Indian tech companies, India fintech is a standout case because the companies have become very large very quickly. So shareholder value got created. And I think now, and for Japan, already a very mature financial market, we are seeing that story play out. That's why SMBC is so interested in India, because here is another large market for somebody who already has deep roots, both in capital as well as in products.
So also you worked in not only here in Japan and also India, you also work in Singapore as well.
Yes, I do. Actually, I'm a truly a global citizen at this point. And also I think all business is now global because capital is global. I'm also building a capital intensive business. So we're headquartered in Singapore, I think for the neutrality of it, but we serve the Indian customer. We also are raising what we call debt capital and equity capital in Japan. And the other sort of thing is, I am seeing a lot of tech talent come to Japan from India at this point in time. And a lot of service professionals come to India at this point in time. And I think those are interesting opportunities. Japan needs people in, different areas, especially service sector and technology sector. I think we are seeing that outflow as well.
So you've working with the Japanese companies for a while at this moment.
Japanese financial services companies and investors. And of course, our hope is that we can make this a playbook that's replicable. Also, it gives a chance to Japanese capital markets to look at a very large consumer base. For example, my platform, we're a young company, we're a 3-year-old company, we have 1 million users. As we scale up, it wouldn't be weird to think that we have 50 million users. So I think fast value cycles are being created, and I think it's a really nice opportunity.
Are there any challenges working with Japanese companies?
Oh, there are a lot of challenges. I think it started with flights. In fact, when I first started doing business with Japan, we didn't have as many direct flights. You had to wait to get onto a direct flight or to change a flight. But that has changed. And of course, language continues to be a challenge. I think if it was a slightly more European language, you can still learn it. Japanese is a very tough language. So I am, satisfied with my konnichiwas and arigatos at this point. But I think language is a big barrier. We still need more. By the way, the university I went to actually offers the largest course in foreign languages, and Japanese continues to be a very popular language choice. And we are seeing a lot of schools of languages, so a lot of Japanese learning centers crop up in India. Every city you go to, you will find Japanese learning centers. And then, of course, I think cultural differences. We are very different people from, I think the Japanese are very meticulous, very planned. Everything moves in a certain fashion. India is the opposite. We're the MVP country. We always run things like an experiment, and it's only much later when they mature, they take a form and shape. So cultures are very far apart. But having said that, I still feel the collaboration is growing, and we are going to see more of it.
Great. So how about Hiromi-san? So you've in Sweden, you've seen many Japanese companies or Japanese entrepreneurs want to be more global. They want to try that global market. So do you have any advice to them? Or?
For them? Yes, I don't know. I've been pretty much impressed by those Japanese startups who are visiting Malmö, Sweden, where I live. We had a startup delegation last year from the city of Kobe. 10 startups came and presented their ideas, and we did some pitch session. And their ideas are wonderful.
The life science area? Or?
No, it was quite combined different areas. AI, very AI. They went to US actually, and life science, and also the social. How can I say? Impact company, and it was not one domain, rather range of companies, but their ambition and they are quite brave to. At my generation time, there aren't so many people who quit the big Japanese corporate and doing startups. So that was a big change also. And we also currently carrying the project called King Simon with Tokyo Metropolitan Government. In that project, we also received 5 startups from Tokyo, and they are very deep tech. And also we had, at that time, they are committed to solve the city of Malmö's sustainability problems. So it was very technical, how to use the food waste and like traffic congestion. And they are also very technically savvy. And now we are excited to receive the 5 startups from Fukuoka next month. They are way to slash, as you mentioned, but they are coming to Malmö, and we just planning the some short pitch session there. And ideas are, how can I say, a little bit different from Swedish startups sometimes, but it's very, how can I say, thought in a detail. And I see the differences and very stimulating for Swedish startup also. So very excited to receive them soon.
That's great. Okay. So I think it's almost the time's up soon. So yeah, I think this is a great the events, the global, the startup events. So in the Fukuoka, that's I'm so happy to be at this part of this event, and 3 of us we reside in the different regions in Europe or India and North America. So we are always here for you to support your company's globalization all the time. So if your companies or if your friends or if you're whoever you guys want to just expand the business to the different regions, we are here for you. So yeah, don't hesitate to just reach out to us. Then we can always do something for you guys. So yeah, that's any other advice to the audience?
I think as an entrepreneur, I would say this is such a great time to poke the bear. Like if you have an idea or if you are curious about something, it's not just business or startups. It could be art, music, or maybe travel. I think it's such a good time to spread out. I think it's a great time to be a global citizen and to extend yourself a lot more. And it's gotten so much easier to get around the world, I think, thanks to all the travel and hospitality companies, but also, there is a global citizenship available to all of us. And I think that's a very exciting time to be in.
Yes, people say that you can do everything digitally, but I am the older generation who believes in the person-to-person meetings. And this is a great occasion. I mean, last year I met one city official from Fukuoka at Slash, so I'm here today. And I just met you, and I'm inviting, I just saw the similarity, inviting her to come to Malmö next year. So just talk to anyone, so that's open up your next world, I think.